What's going on, NEM crew? Welcome back to another video. Today we're working on the Volvo once again, and we're going to show you how to change the PCV system. Let's do it. Alright guys, changing the PCV system on this Volvo is a little bit tricky because the PCV breather box and all of the lines are actually underneath the intake manifold. So it's on the driver's side, underneath the intake manifold. So the first step is actually going to be to remove the intake manifold. So I've actually gone ahead and already removed the intake manifold. If you guys want to see a step-by-step on how to do that, the link will be right up top here, and it'll be in the description below. I didn't want to keep this video extremely long having everything together, so I made a separate video on how to actually remove this. So once you have this removed, or if you want to check out that video, come back here and then we'll start diving into the PCV system here. So the first thing we're going to go over is the actual replacement parts. So I have the breather box here, I have a new O-ring, and then I have what's called, I guess, the flame trap, I think. Don't quote me on it. We'll go through all of these components as we're taking them off and going through the process. So this actual flame trap here with this, that was actually taken off in the intake removal video. So that is this hose right here. So this is the old flame trap. Looks all nice and gunky in there. So what we're gonna do is actually just clean out this hose. You can see in there, maybe, I guess you guys can't see in there. It's extremely gunky, a lot of oil residue that's just caked on and built up in there. So we're going to clean out this hose. You can actually buy replacement this replacement hose, but in our case it is actually in pretty decent shape. It's not cracking or broken in any way, so we can replace it, or we don't need to replace it in this video, and we can actually use it going forward. So let's get on to changing these components here. Alright guys, so I realize it's pretty tight in here and it may not be that easy to see what's going on, but I'll do my best to kind of walk you through everything. So this right here is the actual breather box right down here. So this hose we are replacing, so we can just pop that off. It should come off fairly easily. This is actually in decent shape, so I technically could have just reused this, but we have the replacement, so I'm not too worried about it. And then there is the top of the breather box. So if you can see in there, it is fairly gunky. So it's definitely good that we're going to clear it out, hopefully make the whole system breathe a hell of a lot better. So the next step is getting this box off. I'm going to look at the old one and we can compare to see how we're actually going to tackle to get this thing off. To remove the PCV box, there are two bolts, one right there, and then the wiring harness gets held on by this bolt right up at the top. So we're going to start by taking the wiring harness off. We'll remove the two bolts right at the bottom there, and then it should pop off and we can get start getting the replacement parts on there. Alright guys, so the bolt that holds on the wiring harness is around an 8 mil. It's not on there tight, so you don't need to use an impact gun to get it off. You can actually move the wiring harness right out of the way. The bolts holding on the PCV breather box are 12 mils. At least I think so. I'm using a 12 mil, it's working. So, should be a 12 mil. Now it should just pop right out. There's this hose. It's getting in the way. And there we go. There's the old one. See the O-ring there? This clip right here for the wiring harness will actually have to retain that little piece of hardware there and put it on the new box that we have. So we'll transfer that over and then reinstall everything. Alright guys, so that's where it sits. We're just going to clean up that surface a little bit, making sure that everything is nice and clean so the new seal will do its job. And then we'll transfer a few things over to the new breather box, and then we can just reinstall everything. A couple bolts and a couple hoses, and then we're good to go. Alright, with the new duck head on here, the new thingamabobber on this line, we're going to go ahead and put the new rubber line that goes to the top of the breather box. We'll just plop that in place. We can connect the wiring harness again with this one little bitty 8mm bolt. And then it's just intake manifold back on. Make sure you put this back on, obviously, from the intake manifold video that I posted in the description. And then everything will be good to go. Quick, simple, and easy, just the way I like it.